I invite you to play a little game. Come to the museum or look at the collection online and look for a work that sort of surprises you, confuses you, maybe that you don't like immediately, and spend some time looking at it. Just give yourself maybe a minute and just look at all the details. And then try to come up, don't read the label, I should say, then try to come up with a title for it. And then look at what the real title is. The thing about titles is they're often very complicated how they come to be. And sometimes titles really require knowing a little bit more about the artist. So it's not just what you're looking at. Art titles and artworks aren't really a definition of what you're seeing, but there's something they've chosen to name it. And it's like in a book where you read a book and you finish the book, you put it down, and maybe like a month later, you're remembering the book and you realize what the title meant, that how it connected to the story, maybe. And in many ways, that's, one of the things that might happen with an artwork title. But what's nice about art is it goes out into the world and it comes to live with us. And so we can think of it any way we want. And so looking at the titles and coming up with your own is perfectly fun and interesting. And actually, if you are a person who plays sort of like charades or needs a collective game to play with others, if you grab if you print out a few pictures, you can, it's pretty fun to try to like have everyone try to title it and guess which ones go with which. Because there's sort of, sometimes in some kinds of museums, there's a wrong answer. Like you might call something, I don't know. You might say something is, a landscape and there's only a person and that's a portrait. But even then, like, who cares, right? It's just a game. But if you then, or you do the opposite, you invite people, you come up with all the titles of a gallery and then you ask them to try to make the thing, you will find it's, you're probably going to have some very funny images. So I invite you to play around and explore our collection and think about the titles and try to see if you can stump yourself or your friends by coming up with your own titles for our artwork.